What up, ladies and gentlemen? It's the Chinnist. Today is July 11th, Wednesday, New Comic Book Day. I have my haul here of 27 with 22 different titles. I have read through the stack, very decent stack this week. Starting off on the DC side, we have The Flash. So this is part 4. The Flash War concludes the overall storyline that they've told against what Zoom has actually known of various forces beyond the Speed Force. There's the Strength Force as well as the Sage Force. And the Sage Force is like a knowledge force. So what this writer, I think Williamson, Williamson, what this writer has done, he's kind of introduced various, same thing that Jeff Johns did back in the day with the Green Lantern Corps. Every new color that he introduced, even though we just started out with green, he introduced various colors and kind of like retconned. They've always been there, you just never really knew about it. Here's the mythos of each one. Williamson is kind of doing the same thing here with the various forces that they have introduced so far. I think there's going to be more. Very cool stuff. At the very end of this one issue, you have a reveal. Someone comes back to the Speed Force family, someone who has not been here in a very long time. If you were a fan of The Flash, back in the 90s, 2000s, you're really going to enjoy this character who comes back. So yeah, check it out, The Flash. Next up from DC, we have Immortal Men. One of my more favorites that came out of the New Age of Heroes, really due to the similarities back to the X-Men. A lot of the mutant type of abilities here. This one issue, you get a lot more backstory in regard to the 5 immortal people who kind of started this all off. So this is like 50,000 years ago, I think, or plus. This meteorite is what kind of gave them their powers, and each one had their own philosophy of what they're going to do with the powers. They all wanted to, do well for the humans, to bring the humans to the next level, but each one had their own philosophy. So they kind of made their pact of, we won't get in each other's way. Do your own thing. We will not get into each other's way, and we'll see what happens. That pact is apparently over. This is one of the immortal people, for destruction or war, I think is what she was. Great epic battle here, and you find out a little bit of a, the immortal people, I guess, can indeed die, and there's a little bit of a tragic twist here at the very end. But very cool stuff, very epic battle at the very end. So yeah, really enjoy it. A lot of similarities to the X-Men in my opinion. So yeah, really enjoy this one, the Immortal Men. Another New Age of Heroes Sideways. Another one I really enjoy. A lot of Peter Parker type of similarities here due to his style, his wit, and in his teenage years, how he kind of started out of the hero, kind of figuring out how does this all work, trying to become a superhero. And a lot of failure along the way, just like Peter Parker. This one kind of introduces his mom. You see a little bit more of his family aspect, what kind of goes through at his home before he even got his superpower. So, again, a little bit of a tragic twist here, as they say in the very on the cover here. But again, really enjoy this one. You got a little bit more background with what is this guy's name? Is it Tempest? Yeah, I think his name is Tempest. This guy here, a little bit more backstory. You find out he's kind of like a loner. He yearns for a partnership and companionship. So Sideways kind of connects with him just a little bit more. Really enjoyed this one. Really bit more of a character builder in my opinion. But yeah, Sideways overall, I really do enjoy this title. Right. Next up, Superman. So this is cover B. So I went with the, the Adam Hughes cover? Yeah, the Adam Hughes cover. Enjoy this one far over that other cover A. But, so this one really starts off, so if you did not pick up Man of Steel, I highly recommend for you to go pick that up. It was a 6-issue, title, and this one really, it's like issue number 7. I mean, it rolls right directly into it. In my opinion, you will be completely lost. You can't go from the last Rebirth series directly into this one. You really have to read Man of Steel. So if you plan to read this, again, pick up Superman, Man of Steel. Really enjoyed this one issue so far. I think, in my opinion, I'm going to pick this one up in trade. Enjoy Superman, but just really enjoy it more in trade, especially with Bendis, because he kind of stretches out that storyline. So, he's just a writer that I enjoy in trade. But enjoy it nonetheless. If you're a Superman fan, check it out. But again, start with Man of Steel. Titan. So there's a lot of speculation on this one. I'm not really sure. I think it was going back to Crush. Was it going to be her first full appearance, or not really sure what the speculation was. There was an introduction of this new character here, but I don't think he's going to be either like a hero or a villain. I think he really seemed like more of like a random type of character. So, new character lineup as we found out from the last Titans special. So nothing too special about this one. It kind of kicks off with a new team, as how they interact with each other, go off on their first mission. It was a decent read, not enough for me to really get engaged and really pick this one up. Steel was completely different. I've never seen Steel like this, and I don't know how long this Steel has been around, this female version of Steel, but I thought she was pretty cool. But just okay, decent adventure with a new team. Not enough for me to pick this one up as an ongoing series though. Moving on to Marvel, we have The Amazing Spider-Man. So they finally did a reboot of ASM. So let's see. So yeah, so this was the cover A, wraparound cover. Love wraparounds. Who doesn't love a good wraparound, right? So I was also able to pick up two different LCSs. This is the Variant Incentive by Shane Davis. So I saw this is going online for up to $25. I got this one at my first LCS, and then I picked up another one at my second LCS. So each one of the LCS actually goes for just cover price, and 10% off for being a member at each one. Always happy to pick up those incentives. Put one in the PC, put one in the speculation boxes. I think of what I'll do with these two. So overall, I really enjoyed the artwork. I thought this artwork was, great. I would give this one maybe a 4.5, 4.25 out of 5 in my opinion. Really love this type of style artwork, especially for the superhero genre. However, I'll leave it on this two-page splash. Overall, the storyline was just, pretty traditional in my opinion. If you like that, just reading through the old Spider-Man, like back in the 90s and things of that nature, this is really reminiscent of that, in my opinion. So if you love that old, Peter Parker, this is, right up your alley. There's actually, I think this had like 2 to 3 stories. 2 stories for sure. You had the first, pretty long story with Peter Parker. You had a separate, complete one-off story with Mesmero, and I think like a 3-pager just on someone else. But pretty decent one overall. Again, another one I'm not going to pick up as ongoing number 2 on. I'll pick up if there's a key, issue here and there. But very decent. If you enjoy Spider-Man, pick it up. But not up my alley. I did, however, love X-23. This may have actually been my most favorite read of this week. So I did pick up 2 cover A's, one in each LCS, and I picked up one of the design incentive variants. Saw this one listing for $10 online. So yeah, pretty cool. Love Laura Kinney. I originally passed up the all-new Wolverine series, so I'm still looking for that number 2 with Honey Badger. Man, I have completely fallen in love with Honey Badger, and really one of the reasons why I felt this number 1 was the best read of this week in my opinion. And really loved it. Honey Badger, her comedy is just great. Laura is more common ground, more level-headed. A lot more emotion, from Laura, in my opinion, in this one issue, or I'm sorry, from Laura in general, versus like Wolverine Logan. But, great action, great comedy. I am definitely going to be subscribing to this series going forward. And I'm going to try to go back and pick up like all the trades and read through Laura's story, from the very start. But really enjoy this X-23. Pick it up if you enjoyed the other Laura series that are out there so far. Right, X-Men Blue. Very good stuff. I think this is one of the titles they will be canceling here in the future. Pretty good stuff. You have the Time Displaced team kind of building up a storyline to go against Magneto. Very cool cover. Really enjoy this cover, but not really portraying what's inside in the storyline. A couple issues ago, you had Jean Grey going into Magneto's head and kind of like unlocking something. She kind of sees something really dark in there. So this is kind of starting like a battle here going in the issues to come for like a big, massive, like an old school type of battle between the original X-Men and Magneto going forward. So yeah, it looks really cool. They're kind of going back and forth of, you know, do we fight that Magneto here in this timeline, or should we go back to our timeline and fight that Magneto there? You know, their whole destiny is to fight Magneto. So cool battle nonetheless on whichever timeline they choose. Hunt for Wolverine Adamantium Agenda. So out of all the 4 that are out there, this is one of the top 2 in my opinion. Some of them are just completely throwaway. You know, this is pretty decent just due to the Tony Stark, you know, when Logan was part of the New Avengers. I believe it was New Avengers. But you see like the ties of the previous storyline and why they're going through their little journey here, trying to save the DNA of Logan, which they thought was Logan, and you know, like all these other storylines, they kind of like peter out and it's not Logan at all. But nonetheless, pretty cool storyline with Mr. Sinister, who is trying to catalog the DNA of all the superheroes. A little bit of a reveal at the end, and maybe, you know, beyond the superheroes. But pretty cool action storyline nonetheless. You know, one of the better titles out there for during the Hunt of Wolverine. This little marketing ploy that they're doing here. Champions number 22. So, you know, they claim that there's going to be a lot of changes here, and this title, the cover page, the cover art here really, you know, explains what happens to this one issue. So Amadeus Cho has, he's no longer the Incredible Hulk. He now goes by Brawn. Ironheart has her armor 3.0. Complete different color changes. Pink is involved now. Nova is no longer Nova. No more helmet at the end of that last Infinity Gauntlet countdown. I think it was like number 2, Champions number 2. So yeah, pretty cool stuff. Again, here's her new armor here. But other than that, nothing real too impactful here other than the Vision. Something's kind of off with him again. You know, he may be you know, terminally ill is what he's kind of going through, you know, kind of like a little cancer issue. He knows he could replicate himself, and he's kind of going through the decision he doesn't want to do that. He has a child to kind of go on, so a little bit of an emotional kind of story going on with the Vision. Enjoy this title. Alright, another one that I do enjoy, Amazing Spider-Man Renew Your Vows. In the last issue we had kind of like a doppelganger, a villain kind of come out. I think her name was like Venom or something of that nature. Venom something. Pretty cool battle. So I really enjoy the family aspect of this title. You know, overall is what I really enjoy. Mr. Sinister, you know, again, makes another appearance. He's been coming up in all titles and across all the worlds and realms here right now, but not sure why. But pretty cool stuff. You know, a little reveal of who's kind of the mastermind here, you know, with all these doppelgangers. But again, enjoy the family aspect of this one title. Domino. Gail Simone is a writer that, you know, it's very hit or miss, you know, with her, you know, with me, and you know, maybe only 20% of things that are out there that she writes that I know that everyone enjoys, but I just really can't connect with her for some reason. This one title by far has been my most favorite title that I've read by her that she has written. Enjoy Domino's, you know, character more now than what I did before when I read through like in the 80s. Don't know why. I don't know if she had like a big character change here. I don't really remember her being, you know, this humorous and quirky. I really enjoy it nonetheless. A lot of, you know, a lot of sexual stuff kind of going on at the same time. You know, a lot of flirting type of stuff. So, what is his name? Shang-Chi or something of that nature? Shang-Chi. Pretty cool battle. You know, he comes here just to really mac on Domino, man, at the very end. But enjoy the humor and dialogue here. The artwork as well, maybe like a 4 out of 5, 4.25 out of 5. Really enjoy this artist. Not really sure who that was. David Baldion. Great stuff. Never heard of him, but really enjoy his artwork. So yeah, Domino number 4. Alright, another from Marvel, Star Wars Thrawn. This is one, if you enjoy Thrawn, if you know who he is from previous, either the animated series of Clone Wars or Rebels, or the previous novels that were out there in the past, I feel you should pick this one up. Very good character study of who he is. If you're just a casual Star Wars fan, I would say stay away from this one. A little bit, you know, of a lengthy dialogue and kind of like a long, lengthy storyline overall. But if you enjoy Thrawn, pick this one up. Another Star Wars, so Darth Vader. This one I thoroughly enjoyed. This really was a one-off storyline between what is his name, Governor Tarkin and Darth Vader. This was really like a Predator movie in my opinion. So again, this is like a one-off story, and Darth Vader in this one story is kind of like Predator, that Tarkin and like, I think there's like, he started off with 12, I think, hunters are trying to hunt down and kill Darth Vader. There's a reason why, I won't reveal at the end why this is happening. But very cool hunt, you know, just like a Predator movie. At the very beginning they're hunting the Predator, and it kind of reverses to where Darth Vader starts to hunt them down. Awesome violent stuff, man. Darth Vader is a complete badass. This was a great storyline. You know, this is just a one-off storyline. If you like Darth Vader, I say pick up just this one issue, check it out. So yeah, Darth Vader number 18. Moving on to Image. So this title, Die, Die, Die. This was a surprise, and I actually picked up 2 cover A's. This was actually a surprise secret variant, 1-for-1. If so, the number of Oblivion song that the LCS picked up, they got equal amount of free issues of Die, Die, Die. So it was really like a 1-for-1 type of issue for them. I heard some LCS actually gave this issue away for free since they got it for free, but you know, as you know, most LCS, any incentive variants they receive, it's either cover price or more. Very cool storyline. So this, in my opinion, was very reminiscent to Garth Ennis and The Boys. I loved that one title that he wrote, The Boys. Very reminiscent of that. A lot of adult gore type of violent action going on. A lot of sexual type of situations that that kind of occur here. Excellent stuff. You know, kind of like a Jimmy's Bastards. For those of y'all who read that from Aftershock here recently, you know, kind of that feel to it with The Boys kind of mixed in. So yeah, really enjoyed this one. Again, this was kind of like a little surprise, you know, pop in. This was not in previews in any ways, like a complete hush hush. It's out there. There's many copies out there. Hard to find, you know, one of those white covers. Hard to find one of those clean 9.8 covers on the rack. But check it out if you like that bloody, gory, adult, sexual type of storylines. Definitely check this one out. Die, Die, Die by Robert Kirkman. One more by Robert Kirkman. Image, Oblivion song. So this one here delved into that community that was on the other realm that our main character was, you know, continuously going back for. The main person he was actually searching for was actually his brother. His brother is finally found, and we get into a little bit of how these people survive in this other realm. They've been there for years and years now, and they actually want to stay here instead of going back to Earth at this point in time. Very cool. I enjoy this world that they're really building up. You know, there's I kind of passed on The Walking Dead when it originally came out, you know, going back and reading in trade, loved it now. This is kind of has that Walking Dead feel to it, but you know, completely different storyline. It really stands up on itself. But yeah, check this one out, Oblivion song. Another from Image, Port of Earth. Pretty cool concept. I really feel this is you know, a good adaptation into the TV realm in my opinion. So at, you know, this point in time, you really have the humans quizzing what they really get out of becoming a port for all these aliens. You know, come to find out, these aliens came in here, they negotiated, the American government accepted right away. The aliens came in with, here's how you're going to build the port. Humans cannot go in. You have to defend any humans from going into it. It's really exclusive. Not really sure if the government has like their own like secret like agenda in the background that they're not telling the public, which is usually the way it goes. And then you delve into what's going on between, you know, the aliens actually coming out and killing humans, and the humans going into the port and now chasing the aliens down. Pretty good action. You know, I wish the color was not as bleak as what it actually is. Other than that, very cool storyline. So yeah, this is actually in trade now. Check it out if you're into that sci-fi type of storyline. Port of Earth. One last one from Image. This is a #1 Farmhand. Very cool concept. So what you have here, and they don't explain too much. It's a little bit of a strange, like, magical universe or something. But what you actually have is like this pharmaceutical corporation who they have the ability, and I guess they'll get into it in future issues, they have this ability to actually grow human parts, and they grow them like plants. I don't know what they kind of like crossbred, and here's a good, pretty good double page splash to kind of show off the artwork. Not sure, what plants they kind of crossbred, but each plant actually has like a human organ. And you have other companies trying to steal like the science, trying to figure out like what this guy did in order to get the stuff. But once they do this, it actually mends with the humans. It kind of looks like a monster in a way, but this doctor slash scientist is helping out all these humans who have lost limbs, with this possibly dark art. So pretty cool concept in my opinion. This was one that I did not think was going to be very good, but definitely one I'm going to be picking up going forward. Farmhand Number One. Alright, picked up one from Alterna Comics. This is that one publisher that has the newsprint on the inside, the newsprint cardstock. So this is Metaphase, a tribute to Spider-Man ASM number 300. This is, from what I understand, the very first superhero with Down syndrome. This was actually a, I guess like a trade paperback, which they converted into a 2-issue miniseries. So picked it up, just to see what was going on. Pretty cool stuff. You have this Down syndrome child who's born into this world where I think almost everyone is a superhero. Don't really get into it too much. His father is a superhero for sure, like Superman, and of course, he hoped that his son would be as well, but of course he has Down syndrome. And I guess it's the next issue you'll find out how he gets his superpowers. But a little bit different. I'll pick up a number 2 just because it's $1.50 and it's only 2 of 2. But yeah, Metaphase. Picked up one from Boom Studio, Mech, Cadet U. Really enjoy Greg Pak, his writing style, really enjoy that, and I love Japanese animation. So this was right up the giant robo type of genre. Really enjoyed it. The robots they're alive, a lot of connecting with the humans, and sacrifices are made. So very emotional type of storyline. If you're into giant robo Japanese animation, try to pick this one up and trade, in my opinion. I don't know how much longer. I think it's only a 12-issue series, but yeah, definitely pick it up and trade if you're into that genre. Mech Cadet U. One from Scout Comics, Smoketown. This one actually concludes here at issue number 8. So the storyline, very, very cool. At the very beginning, it's kind of like Pulp Fiction, a lot of different things kind of going on. Storylines kind of in parallel, they kind of all coming together here at the very end, or, towards about the middle of the storyline, and then it gets darker and darker, and just more diabolical things kind of happen. People start dying. Very cool storyline. So you have like this mob boss, not a mob boss, but kind of like this guy, rich guy, kind of owns a town. A lot of payoff type of stuff, but a lot of violence kind of used as well. He gets involved, his henchmen gets involved, people start dying. Again, very cool storyline. If you're looking for that, that type of genre, a lot of action, a lot of twist, a little bit of a suspense because you don't know what's kind of going on at the very beginning. Check this one out, Smoketown, Scout Comics. I enjoy quite a bit of titles coming out of Scout Comics. All right, last one up for y'all from Valiant Comics, Bloodshot Salvation. Jeff Lemire's storytelling, love that guy. Sometimes he's a slow burn, sometimes not. Sometimes it's like action in your face. Sometimes there's kind of like a slow build to kind of give a more intricately laid storyline. Really enjoy his storytelling. So again, a lot of good artwork here. You have Bloodshot. He's trapped in the year number 4002 AD, I think is what it was, and he's trying to get back to his daughter Jessie. Man, so what is this guy's name? Rampage comes in. Man, he just comes in and starts punching this little girl in the face, man. Just like relentless, dude. Man, so very cool action, very cool storyline. Like, a lot of things happen like the very last minute, kind of like a Star Trek, that Star Trek reboot movie here. But yeah, if you enjoyed Bloodshot, from the previous titles, man, this one is like far better from any other Bloodshot, volume that I've ever read. So yeah, Bloodshot Salvation. So guys, that's going to be it for this week's New Comic Book Day haul. Should you enjoy what you see here, please like and subscribe. We'll talk to you later.